Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Guru Medeva Sarvakarishu Sarvadom Ganganapate Namaha. Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Deva Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sarva Mangala Mangalle Shive Sarvartha Sadike Sharanitrambike Devi Narayani Namostute Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Mahalakshmi Rupene Saunstita Namastasya 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 Namo Namaha. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Shri Hanumanji Maharaj Ki Jai. Welcome to Nitya Satsang. Today is the 10th of August 2025. I want to offer my prostrations to all the great sages and to Bhagavan, Paramatma residing in the heart of all beings at all places at all times. With that bhavana and prarthana, we are continuing to examine Prem, the multiple dimensions of love that are discussed, that are talked about in our great scriptures by the extraordinary acharyas. But at the same time, we must also realize that love is our essential nature. What is our essential nature? That is undisturbed, pure, whole, complete love. And that is the realization we can aspire towards. When we are saying that we want to love God, that means that the love that is already inside of us, flowing through us, present within us, it reaches a fully blossomed, fully awakened state. That's what that means. But to awaken that, to open that doorway into absolute love, to open that doorway, we have to go through the dualistic process of worshipping God. This is necessary. Even in Advaita Vedanta or any form of Vedanta, there is the dualistic process. Dualistic meaning what? I am here and Bhagavan is there. Bhagavan is above me, Bhagavan is around me, God is superior to me, Param Atma, Paramatma, and I am the Atma. And I am at the feet of God. I am the servant of God. I am the devotee of God. This bhav. This is called Dvaita bhav. This is the beginning. Dvaita bhav is the foundation for further development into that amazing state of Prema Bhakti. Yes. So as we take this journey, there are several points, several kinds of mental understandings that are necessary, right? Mental understanding. One is firm conviction and faith. Conviction, faith, nishta, nishay, all those things we talked about before. That Bhagavan exists. If we don't have that, we cannot do bhakti. Now, again, we've talked about this before, but again, it's one of those things. It's not blind faith. It is faith, shraddha, that develops through scriptures, through gurus, and also through observation. We see this material world. We see our experience. We see our body. We see everything. Did it just happen like that? No. There is a creator. In philosophy of religion, this is called the teleological argument for the existence of God. Argument here doesn't mean like you're arguing with somebody. It means it's a justification to establish logically that God exists. Well, this is called teleology. 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 Teleology means the argument from design. I'll give you a simple example. For example, I'm holding a cup in my hand. You can see this. It's some coffee in here. But this cup is the effect. Somebody designed this cup. Visualize this cup. There's a designer, a creator, a visualizer of this cup. Isn't it so? But can I see that person right now? I don't know who that is. Maybe I can do some research and maybe find out. But right now I'm holding this cup in my hand. I don't know who created this cup or who. But I can intellectually understand that there has to be a person or a group of people who visualized this cup, this design, created the design, the entire, the size, everything, right? It didn't just come about like that. But right now, I cannot see that person. Or let's say 3 people designed this. I cannot see them. But that doesn't mean they don't exist. This is called Karya Karana Sambandha in Vedanta. Let's be very clear. Karya means the effect. This cup is an effect. There are so many effects. This whole sansar, jisko sansar kehte hain, the world of names and forms, is in effect. It has come from somewhere. That is why it is called Brahmand. Brahmand means the egg. Egg, it's an analogy, right? This word Brahmand is an analogy, actually. Like a bird lays an egg, and then from that another bird comes. Similarly, from Brahman, Akshar Brahma, jisko Akshar Dham bhi kehte hai, Param Dham kehte hai. From there, from that Dham, from that abode of God, the Brahmand, meaning the Anda, the egg-like universe, the golden egg. This is, in some traditions talk about universes are born, they are created, they are born, they expand. Universes upon universes. We use the word universe, but really, we would have to say Brahmand. That is a correct word. Brahmand is beyond all this concept of universe. Right? So, Brahmand are created out of Brahman. They are born out of Brahman. Amazing. This is what is called Brahmand. Now, connecting all of this to Prema Bhakti. It is connected in what way? That when we are setting the destination we want to realize God, we have to actually have faith that there is God. Shraddha. Just like I have faith that there is a group of people, or at least one person, who created the cup I'm holding. So who created these trees and the mountains and the planet Earth and everything has a form, everything has a structure. There's principles of physics and chemistry and biology. Where did they come from? They came from somewhere. They came from an ultimate cause. That ultimate cause is only one, and that is called Karana, the cause. That cause that does not have another cause above it. I hope that makes sense. What if you say, well, God created everything, Bhagwan created everything, or Brahman is manifesting everything? Then who created Brahman? You say Para-Brahman. Well, who created Para-Brahman? There's some other Brahman. Something goes further. No, it's not like that. In Vedanta, this is called Anavastha Dosh. It is called the problem of infinite regress in philosophy. If you're taking notes, you can write this down. You can look it up also. It is called the problem of infinite regress. Infinite regress means that, okay, this world is created from Brahma, Vishnu, Shiv. Brahma, Vishnu, Shiv created from somebody else. Just further. You can just keep imagining. Whenever you say there is a creator, there's who created the creator, somebody, this is super creator, super creator. It just goes on and on. This is called an infinite regress. And this kind of vision of the infinite regress is a function of our intellect, which is within Maya. So the problem of infinite regress is solved by realizing that this vision of infinite regress is a function of the buddhi, which is stuck inside the cause-effect relationship. I know it's a little technical, but the point is to establish in the heart that there is one supreme cause, karana, sarva karana karanam govindam adi purusham tamaham bhajami, sarva karana karanam, the cause of all causes, that does not have any other cause. When we internally feel and believe and come to that conviction that Bhagwan is the supreme and there is Paramatma, not simply some imagination, not simply like an avlamban, like a support for meditation, not that. I mean, that is true, but that's not just that. when we have that profound shraddha, that Bhagwan is, that God is there, God is present. This is true in Judaism, Christianity, Islam. It's true in all of the dualistic traditions in Sanatana Dharma also. That shraddha has to be there, that Paramatma is there. If there's any doubt, then that has to be taken care of. That doubt doesn't have any place. That doubt has to be resolved by scriptural study, by question answer, by so many ways, by listening to teachers and gurus and all. All the doubts have to be gone. One has to be convinced that God exists. That's the general conviction, theistic conviction. But now, since we're talking about Sri Radhika ji and Sri Krishna Bhagwan, the conviction that Bhagwan Krishna is Parabrahma, this is a conviction. Those for whose Ishtadev Krishna is there. The Ishtadevata is the supreme Lord of each person. That conviction comes. And with that conviction, then the rocket ship takes off. Amazing. Then it's all preparation, right? Everything is prepared. The space shuttle is there, the booster rockets are there, the fuel is there, it's been stationed properly, everything is ready to go. And then now the pilot says, okay, let's lift off. So it's just like the space shuttle that is getting ready with everything, so much preparation is there. But then a point comes when the button is pushed, or whatever they push a couple of buttons, whatever, and now it's ready to take off. It doesn't take off just like that. There's so much energy that is required, and then eventually it breaks the gravity and it takes off. Just like that, a bhakta has to prepare through Navda Bhakti, scriptural study, Guru Seva, going to mandirs, doing all kinds of sadhanas. All preparation is there. That is all only preparation. We have not taken off yet. It is only preparation. And with that preparation, a point comes where all of the Shakti inside is conserved. It is ready to go. Manovritti, mind, is ready to go further. There's no doubt. There's no issue. There's adequate protection, like the astronauts that are wearing all those space suits. There's adequate protection. There's adequate breathing apparatus. Everything is ready to go. That is why we study scriptures. We go through all this every single day. It is actually just a preparation to take off into Prema Bhakti. We cannot take off until all the preparation is there. First of all, the space shuttle, I'm using that as an analogy. It cannot take off if you don't have enough fuel. There's a huge fuel tank, plus there's booster rockets. What are those booster rockets? That is Jnana and Vairagya. What is that fuel tank? That is Shakti, Devi, Mahashakti. Jnana, Vairagya and Shakti. See the space shuttle, right? Who is the astronaut? The Jivatma. What is the protection? The suit that they're wearing. That is Dharma. Following righteous life, ethics, morality. All of that has to be in place. And then the training of actually how to navigate that space shuttle. What is that training? That training is the scriptures, the great teachings of all the gurus. They have shown that once you begin to take off, how you can reach the destination. It's a beautiful analogy. And it works very well. And then a point comes after taking off. The space shuttle breaks the gravity of Earth. It can actually go outside the gravity. It usually just goes in orbit. But if somebody wants to go outside the gravity, a point that the gravity of the Earth doesn't affect the space shuttle. That gravity of the Earth is Maya. It's an analogy. Please understand. So the bhakta begins to evolve further. It's a tremendous power that takes us into Bhagavad Dham. That is the activation of the Kundalini Shakti. Kundalini Shakti gets activated, but it gets activated in the safest and best possible way in Bhakti. Bhakti Yoga. Other forms of yoga without Bhakti can be very, very troubling. I don't want to discuss that right now, but you want to stay as a bhakta. That's the safest and most direct path. You don't have to worry about Kundalini Shakti and all that thing. It will automatically, whatever needs to awaken in whatever which way, it will automatically happen, because one is at the shelter of the Lord. Now, which is easier, to sit as a pilot and go in there, or, like let's say you have a small pet, like a small parakeet bird or a small parrot inside that space shuttle, properly secured. This parrot doesn't know anything about how to run all the space shuttle and everything, but it's sitting inside next to the pilot. Wherever the pilot goes, that is where the bird will go. इसको कहते हैं आश्रय. भगवान और भगवान के जो भक्त है, संत है, उसका आश्रय. That when we're at the feet of the Lord, that you take me, I just continue to be loving. He's loving you, connected to you. This is rather than worrying about all of the preparation and this and that will happen automatically. Just sit next to the pilot. And wherever the pilot goes, this is called Sadguru, Satpurush. बड़े बड़े संत है, उनके चरणों में रहना. I'm yours, मैं तेरा हूँ बस. And with that, of course, devotion, bhakti continues. Everything happens. But there's no burden of my trying to reach somewhere. That's a big difference. भाग्य बड़े जहाँ संत पधारे. संत का महिमा ये है. When we have taken the total shelter of the great sages, वैष्णव परंपरा, शैव परंपरा, जो भी परंपरा है, जैन परंपरा है, सिख परंपरा है, जो भी परंपरा है, if the saints are genuine and their teachings are genuine, we take from heart their shelter, something special happens. All the burden disappears and that wisdom comes. Everything comes automatically. And then the path opens up beautifully. We can travel the path without any obstacle at all, because we're sitting in the lap of God. We're sitting in the lap of the great sages. It's like a small child who, latches onto the mother or to the father. And wherever the mother, father go, that is where the child goes. Child doesn't have to worry about anything. This is called the power of Sharanam. Sri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Radha Sharanam Mama. This is Sharanam. Sharanam means shelter. I am completely yours. I'm completely at your feet. I've taken your shelter. Kitni badi baat hai. This bhava is essential. This is the foundation for bhakti. Then the bhakti will just, all the intelligence that is needed, it will come. Dadami buddhi yogam tam. Bhagwan Krishna swayam kehte. I'll give you the buddhi yoga. You don't have to worry. Scriptures, you will know this, you will know. Whatever you need to know, you will know that. To reach me, not just for intellectual analysis. No. If the destination is the feet of God, Golok Dham, Bhagavad Dham, Akshar Dham, Shwet Dvip, Shwet Dvip में वासुदेव नारायण का स्वरूप है. ये सब दिव्य धाम है. कैलाश धाम, महाकैलाश धाम, ये सब अलौकिक भूमि है सब. वहां जाना है. You want to go there? Fine. You have to have the right path to go over there. And that path is Navda Bhakti. That path is shown throughout the scriptures. And the mantras that are done, mantras, stotras, shastras, Ishtadev ki bhakti, Bhagwan ki bhakti in different ways. And then that destination is set that I want to reach you. Of course, we believe that it's a faith, right, that you are there. How can I say that Sachin wants to reach the Paramatma unless there's a belief that there is Bhagavan? वो श्रद्धा ही नहीं है, कहाँ जाएंगे? You cannot go anywhere. Shraddha sarvesham mata. So that faith has to be there. And then with that purna shraddha, which is a big thing, now that lift-off happens. It's a lift-off. We begin to lift off, from this sansaric world into a higher realization. And when that lift-off happens, there is so much wonder and joy. My God, kitni adbhut baat hai. How fantastic is this? The life becomes so wonderful. The vision expands. The scriptures, you can start rolling around in the scriptures and the lives of the great sages. And so the whole vision, vritti, changes into something extraordinary. But that's a matter of experience. It doesn't happen just like that. It happens with conviction, faith, shraddha, and then along that path, this अनुभव, भगवान का अनुभव होता है इसमें. See, because our mind is filled with so many confusions, mind becomes clean. It becomes absolutely pure. And then God comes inside there at night time. Usually it happens at night time first, and then it can happen during daytime, depending on the level of devotion. You're sitting for dhyan, sitting for Bhagwan ka darshan hota hai isme. God comes to you in different ways. And God is present everywhere. It's not consciousness, is present everywhere. So that connection, that establishing that link is the whole ball game, is the entire sadhana. And then to establish it in such a way that it doesn't break is the highest sadhana. It always breaks until one is out of sadhan dasha into siddha dasha. Sadhan dasha in Gujarati we say, Gujarati ma kevu hai ke sadhan dasha wala bhakta ane siddha dasha wala mukta. Sadhan dasha is a Gujarati word. It means state of sadhana. We're all doing sadhana. Hum sab sadhana hi kar rahe. Karna chahiye. We have to do that. We're in that stage of development, sadhana. Yes. But eventually, bhakti opens up in such a way, everything becomes clear, the confusions are gone, no more distraction of the material world comes inside. Everything remains absolutely stable from inside. Praise, blame, sukh, dukh, there's equanimity, stability, all that is there. Bhakti is there, wisdom is there, divine vision is there, all of this comes. And this is where the bhakta becomes a siddha bhakta, becomes eventually a nitya mukta, becomes a great mukta. Mahamukta bante. Mukta means liberated being. So we can say that I'm a liberated being. Why not start with that idea? Start with that state as a conviction that who am I? So this body, this mind, this person is liberated. End of story. Liberated from rag and dvesh, aham and mamatva, this and that, all the confusions, all the problems. Liberated from all of those things. The only thing that one is attached to completely are the 2 feet of the Lord. Bhagwan Narayana Charnarinma Akhanda Priti Rag. Nothing other than that. Because everything else is just a bubble. That is Vairagya. The real Jnana is that I am the Atman and Bhagwan is real. That is Shuddha Jnana, Divya Jnana, Shuddha Buddhi. We do everything. All action is performed in the light of God with love and affection, care and affection, not negligence. And also with a divine vision. For everybody, family members, pets, people in the world, everybody, that divya drishti. And with that divine vision, we live each day, each hour, each moment with a new vision. Even if we see the worldly experiences, things that we watch on TV and all that, whatever it might be, but we see them in a new light. Push pause, reflect in terms of the Brahma Vidya. This is called Akhanda Chintan, unbroken Chintana, Manana Chintana. All of this gets going this way. And in doing so, life is so beautiful that our energies are utilized towards Paramatma. Our time is utilized towards Paramatma, Bhagwan. Our buddhi is utilized to think about God, to contemplate on the divine. Our buddhi is used for that purpose, not this destructive aspects. No, our eyes, our nose, our tongue, our speech, our hands. Our hands are used to take the name of God with Shraddha. Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Mala, always keep a mala with you. People say, oh, kya mala rakhte? Don't worry about what others, let them do. That's okay. Don't, you tell them I'm sitting here taking the name. Nobody will bother. Bhagwan ka naam lena. What is the use of this tongue? The tongue is the only organ that doesn't become old. What is the use of this tongue? It is to speak words to others that are filled with love and affection. that are beneficial, that are not harmful. And the other use of the tongue is to speak the name of Bhagavan, Bhagvat Nam. These are the only two uses. Everything else is all just unnecessary talk. Unnecessary talk. And what does that create? Conflict, problems. We don't want that. We don't want to even think in that direction. Speak words that are nectarine words, amrutam. Language that is filled with amrut. And never speak language that will cause pain to another person. Never do that, right? By doing that, negative karma is there. And not only that, uske heart mein Bhagwan rehte hai. You don't hurt another person. Ahimsa paramo dharma. Just like when we go to mandir, then we have murti of Bhagwan Krishna, Ganesh, whatever, whichever murtis are there. Do we stand and speak some negative language there? No. Then how can we speak a negative word towards another human being? Is God not present in that human being? Think about, थोड़ा विचार करने जैसी बात है. Not to speak a single negative word towards somebody else that will cause pain. And not to speak is one level. Not to even think in that direction is a higher level. How difficult. There's always something that is in our mind. This person did this person is like this is like this. So whatever deficiency they have, may God bless them. Why we should bring the negativity inside? So these contaminants do not belong inside the mind of a bhakta. If we want to be real bhakta, sache bhakta banna hai. Baki to sab chalta hai, aisa hi sab chalta hai. Life goes on and person dies at the end. The body goes away. That doesn't have any meaning. But what has meaning is to live a life, divya jivan. In Gujarati we say divya jivan banao. Divya jivan jivu chhe. I want to live divya jivan kaisa hona chahiye? Divyata se bhara hua. Is it possible? Yes. Whenever we look, see the divinity with bhav and shraddha. What we are hearing, listen to the glories of God, listen to the scriptures. Other things we have to listen also. Study materials, whatever worldly things that are going on. But see that in the light of God. Then there is no bondage. But no doubt, those images and other things do stay in the mind. One has to deal with that. We'll talk about that some other time. Even touch, sparsh kya karna? Take flowers and place them at the feet of Sri Krishna and Radhika ji, and then after offering them, do the sparsha and place the flowers and the fruits and other things, and then smell the flowers. That is the highest use of the sense of touch and smell. When we offer flowers at the feet with bhakti, with bhajans and all, and then smell the flower, that is the highest use of the sense of smell. You see? Even people who like perfumes and all that, you just place it at the feet of Mahalakshmi. Offer it to her. Yes, go ahead.
One thing
So remember, there are different kinds of bhav. What you're asking there is a type of bhav that is a total seva bhav, right? That everything belongs to God. So whatever is offered to him is only for him. So it is just a type of bhakti. But there's another way to do that also. That what we offer everything to God and then take it. So because we have to eat food, isn't it so? We have to eat food. So when we offer it to Paramatma and then from that we partake of it. We partake of it in the remembrance of the holy name. By taking the holy name. That is the way to do that. If you do not, otherwise there's a separation. Like for example, if I take an apple, I offer it at the feet of Krishna. I leave it there. But then nobody eats the apple Okay, we can say we offer to God, but then I take another apple and then I'm just eating it myself. So I didn't offer that to Krishna. I have to. So everything that is offered is then given back as prasadam. Prasad. So there are different approaches. What you're saying is not wrong. That is also there. That some people do that way. There's another way to do also. That is whatever, everything we get. For example, if I get these are some new pairs of glasses, right? I got this from Lens Crafters. So one of the ways of doing that, you get the new pairs of glasses, you place it at the feet of God. You say that this belongs to you. And then by His divine touch, now we enjoy. So this is called Atma Nivedani Bhakti. Atma Nivedanam, the ninth Bhakti. Everything is first offered to God, Bhagwan, and then it is taken. Everything. Everything means everything. So what you're saying is not wrong. It is correct. That is one way. Some people do it that way, that they want to keep that completely separate, that this is just belonging to the Lord and we do not touch it afterwards or do not enjoy it ourselves. It's not that we are even enjoying it. Yes.
No, afterwards. Okay.
That's the same thing I'm saying. Yes. So before you actually offer the flowers and fruits, you don't take smells of that or enjoy them or eat them or anything like that. You offer it first. Then after doing that, after doing the vidhi, then you can enjoy that. Yes, that's correct. That's exactly the same thing. Yeah, but there might be people who say that I'm taking these flowers, that this is a prasadam and I'm just going to put it under the tree or something. I mean, some people might do some other way also. But usually when anything is offered, it is then taken. It is again enjoyed as a prasadam. So fruits, flowers, leaves, everything, right? Like that. Absolutely. And that's the whole idea, that every single action we do is connected in bhakti. That is the purpose of doing this, so that our aham bhav diminishes and goes away. This is called Atma Nivedanam Bhakti, what you were just talking about, that everything is offered. I mean, literally everything. For example, if you have students who buy a textbook, biology book, chemistry book, that book is placed in front of Mahasaraswati or in front of Radha Krishna. It's offered to them for blessing, and then it is studied. Everything. Like for example, Sachin here does this morning satsang. Before doing the satsang, small diya is there. The whole satsang is offered at the feet of God. And then at the end, after we do the closing prarthana, again a small diya is offered. Everything is offered at the feet of God. We don't hold on to anything. Everything is offered at the divine feet, and by krupa, by blessings, then that is then distributed to all. That's the whole idea. So like these recordings are loaded and all that. It's all offered at the feet of Paramatma. You see, so every action, once it reaches that point, that it is offered completely at the feet of God with tremendous shraddha, great shraddha, then one is a Atma Nivedani Bhakta. See, the 9 forms of devotion: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atma Nivedanam. Atma Nivedanam is the 9th Bhakti, and that will lead to the Prema Bhakti. So all 9 forms begin to open this way, or it's a divine, it's divya sambandha with God, with Bhagavan. So everything is offered. So before speaking, our thoughts, our mind, our manovritti, the highest offering is the mental vritti. That these fruits and vegetables and all these things that we offer, food items, that is a beginning. That's not the end. That is the beginning. But then our thoughts are offered to God. Our emotions are offered to God. Our thinking is purified. How is our thinking? When the time comes, when we've done our worldly duty as Karma Yoga, it retracts back into the Swarup of Paramatma. It retracts back again. The mind doesn't just keep playing with the objects of the senses in Maya. No. It plays with the form of God. मयि आवेश मनो एमाम नित्य युक्ता उपासते. जब ऐसी स्थिति होती है इससे तो there's nothing greater than that. Anywhere you go, it doesn't matter. It's like you're going to the temple, you are inside the form of God. मंदिर में जाते उसके साथ भगवान के साथ सब मंदिर से बाहर आते, still the connection, there's an unbroken connection. That is the goal. It is unbroken manan chintan constantly चलता है. Because of the extraordinary mahima, glory. I'll give you a very simple example, then we'll close with this. If each of you who are online right now, you have $500 billion check with you. You have a check with you and you've deposited into the bank. It doesn't matter whether you're awake, you're sleeping, you're this, you're that, you're eating, drinking, anything you're doing, you'll never forget that. Even if you want to forget that, you cannot forget that. Why? Do you have to make effort to take a mala $1 billion, $1 billion? Aisa nahi karna. You don't have to even do that. It's something like this. This is called in Gujarati asadharan mahima. When the mahima, glory of Bhagwan is really understood and that he's with me, it's not a question of trying to do bhakti. You cannot forget him at all. It's impossible to forget. That is actually not hard. The problem is we don't realize what is that Paramatma or kaun mil gaye hai. Kya mil gaya hai? It's like a 3-year-old child. Under that 3-year-old child's name is a $500 million check in the bank, and the child is saying, give me, is crying for pieces of candy. We cry. Human beings are crying and tormented in this sansar because of not realizing that Paramatma ka swarup kya hai, unka mahima kya hai. How can you forget that? Impossible. You see, so this is the difference between the Maha Acharyas, where they only did one thing. They realized what is that glory and who is with me. We also see Krishna and Radha and Devi's murtis and all that, but we don't realize who they are. We don't realize inka mahima kya hai. But when you realize that, oh my God, this is what it is. Its glory is so extraordinary. Mind cannot, even though you're performing all activity, it cannot forget God. Impossible. And there is no sadhana also. Koi sadhana nahi hai. Somebody is given each one of us $500 million check. $500 billion check, not million. $500 billion check. Nice big check like this. All you have to do, deposit. That's it. We have been given that. Meaning what? Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. The form of Sri Krishna Bhagavan, form of Bhagavan Shankar, the Panch Devatas. These are, they're beyond all this financial stuff, but it's just an analogy. Who is that? Bhagwan ke in one part of the body of God, billions of galaxies are there. Billions. Do we believe that? Do we feel that? So this is the question, right? If Sachin is standing in the front doing darshan of the murti of Sri Krishna Bhagwan and Radhika ji, कितना conviction है कि ये सत्य बात है, किस दृष्टि से देखते हैं. Once I can see the Lord as he is, with that real vision. This in Gujarati, this is called olkhan. It's like if somebody gives $500 billion check to me and I treat it as a piece of paper, I am the most foolish person in the world. I don't know what it is. Oh my God, the moment I realize what that is, oh my God, ye kya hai? That realization is what satsang is about. That 5-year-old child doesn't know what the $500 billion check is. The 5-year-old child has to grow, eventually becomes 20 years old, 25, and as the child grows further, can realize what is already there. Balak na hath ma chintamani in Gujarati. Chintamani is a wish-fulfilling stone. It's given in the hand of a 2-year-old. He's going to only ask for small things and cry over them. Human being ki sthiti aise, they don't realize what is the glory of this of that supreme param tattva. And when you realize that, the manovritti, hamara jo antakaran hai, the antakarana naturally will be absorbed inside that swarup of Paramatma without any sadhana. There is no sadhana actually. It is called prapti no mahima. Prapti, what has been obtained. We have been given the Gita. Just take Gita for example. Bhagavad Gita, Bhagwan Sri Krishna and Radhika ji and all the Guru Parampara. It's all been given. But Gita ji ka mahima kya hai? You can find the Gita for free. Go to any store. How much does it cost? $1, $5? You cannot put a price on that. You see, it is beyond our imagination what that is. But when we realize ye kya hai, now the devotion begins. Then the words begin to open. It's like accessing the $500 billion and using it in a way. If you don't use it, it's meaningless also. It has to be opened up, and you can buy this, you can buy this, you can do this, you can do wonderful things in the world with that. That is the Shakti. Similarly, the Gita is the foundation. Brahma Sutras are the foundation. Upanishads are the foundation. When we open them, learn how to open them. That is what we are attempting to do here every day. Is try to open what has been obtained already. We know, let's say there's a $500 billion bank account. My name is, but if I don't know how to access that, I have checks and I have the debit cards and everything is there. But ज्ञानी नहीं कि इसका open कैसे करना. We have the Gita. Millions of people have the Gita. ज्ञान नहीं कि इसके open कैसे करना. That's the big difference. The moment we realize how to open the Gita from the inside, बात बन गई. Let's stop here for now. It's already almost 9 o'clock. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurumedeva Sarvakarishu Saradam Ganganapate Namaha Om Vame Yasya Sitarada Shrisha Yasya Asti Vakshasi Vrindavana Viharam Tam Sri Krishna Mrudi Chinte Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Deva Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guru Namaha Dhyanamulam Guru Murti Mantrabulam Guru Vakyam Pujamulam Guru Padam Mokshamulam Guru Kripa Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Gnanamurtim Dvandatitam Gagana Sadrusham तत्वमस्यादि लक्ष्यम एकम नित्यम विमल वचनम सर्वदी साक्षीभूतम भावातीतम त्रिगुण रहितम सद्गुरुम तम नमामि. ओम ऐं ह्रीं क्लीं चामुण्डाय विचम गोम हुम क्लीं जुम सह ज्वालय ज्वालय ज्वल ज्वल प्रज्वल प्रज्वल ऐं ह्रीं क्लीं चामुण्डाय विचे ज्वल हम सम लम क्षम फट स्वाहा. ओम दुर्गे दुर्गे रक्षिणी ठ ठ स्वाहा. श्री राधा कृष्णार्पणमस्तु. ओम ह्रीं स्वाहा.